Hello again and welcome to episode 22 of Mediocre Military Scale Modeling. Today we're going to look at this interesting model from Trumpeter. This is a Russian Sam-6 anti-aircraft missile platform. So this is a really cool model in my opinion. This is put out by Trumpeter. It's a little different than your usual, armored cars or, tanks or fighter jets. So it's a little bit different subject matter. It's not hard to put together, and it's actually relatively cheap and easy to find. And yeah, it's a pretty cool model. So the Sam-6 is one of the, developed in the Soviet Union, and one of their anti-aircraft platforms. You have these three large missiles up here. They're like little telephone poles. I don't know the specifics of them, but it's a pretty deadly weapons platform. I believe it's still in service today with certain countries. And it just looks really neat. So like when people come in and they look at my models lined up, this always draws their attention. And I've had people say like this is their favorite one just because it's so like kind of cool and intimidating looking. Now mine here is kind of in the firing position with these missiles up ready to fire. But you can make it with them down sort of like in the transport positions. In actual usage of these though, I think in the field that you have like a separate like radar, either station or like a mobile radar, and that is used to track the missiles, and that's how you fire them. Although I think if you don't have the radar, I believe you can still use this weapon with less accuracy, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't think this one was too hard to put together, to be honest. For the color of the model overall, of course, I like to use this for, 60s, 70s, 80s Soviet equipment. This is that, excuse my pronunciation, this is that Zelino, it's XB518 MiG-0083. And this is it's kind of a lighter green, but it really it does really well. When I think of like Soviet equipment in movies and stuff, this green is pretty much hits the nail right on the head. Again, there's a whole debate on Soviet or Russian green. You can't really go wrong. There's a lot of different greens. Some official greens they used, and they're just quality control wasn't that great, so sometimes you get greens that look off, plus weathering. Don't put too much thought into it, but I really like this one. I think this one does really well for your Cold War, most of your Cold War era Soviet military equipment here. And then, of course, we have the missiles up here. I wanted to do a little bit different color for the missiles. I think I just used medium green, and then you got these little red dots here, and then white tips. So, yeah, usually the missiles were a different color than the platform here. Even on the box, they're a little bit different color. For decals, yeah, I just went with the Soviet one. You could do, I think there's like a Polish version, and there's actually, the Polish version I think has some actually camo, where this one is just this straight green here. And then you have the unit number. And then there was actually a little bit of research that went into this. So if you look right here, you get the typical Soviet star and sickle and hammer. Iconic Soviet imagery there. But the funny thing is, from memory and doing my research, I've never actually seen that on Soviet equipment. Now, you'll get the more common one that I think they used for like the parades and shows in Moscow, which was like, it's red and it has the flag. If you built a lot of Soviet models, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I've seen that a lot, but I didn't ever recall seeing the actual like star, and the yellow sickle and hammer. But I looked through a lot of videos, and I did find a video of, I think it was some BMPs that actually had this symbol on it. So I was like, okay, then maybe it is historically accurate. So I just stuck that on there. It looks pretty cool. I am happy how this paint job turned out. You could see there's some little bit of lighter areas. I painted the whole thing black. So I painted this whole thing black, and then some of these raised areas I painted white. And then I went over it with this green here. So it made a little bit sort of weathering and color modulation there, and I think it came out really good. There's a couple other things I'm kind of impressed with. Like, I think my log here on the back turned out really well, so I am happy about that. But there are a couple things I'm not happy about. Weathering overall, I didn't really do heavy weathering here. Like a little bit of chipping, but not a whole lot. So yeah, so let's take a look at a couple things on this guy. Now, I think technically, if you put the model together right, I think you can actually like lower these and raise them. Mine, I'm not going to do that. It's too delicate. But there's some kind of cool parts here. If you look down here, there's these two like I think they're springs, but I think they act as like kind of like hoses, maybe. I'm not sure, but it's pretty cool. And then if we go under it, there are these hoses here, that two of them that connect to each of the missiles or rockets. I don't like the job I did. I don't think I did a great job connecting them. They look like this middle one looks okay, but the other ones, I don't know, they look a little bit messy. But it's cool. It's a cool detail. The other thing I think I messed up on is, and I don't know how, is, see, there's these guardrails. You got one here and one here, and they're kind of bent in a little bit, if you could see. And I don't really know how that happened. And this one on this side isn't so bad, but this one right here, for whatever reason, it's like inward too much. So if you actually fired this rocket right here, it would actually rip this whole guardrail off, and the rocket would probably like fly off and explode and destroy the whole unit there. But yeah, I don't know why it's like that, but it just didn't set right, I guess. So that's a ding. But of course, I don't think that's the kit's fault. That's my fault. Again, I really like how this log turned out. I think it turned out pretty well. And again, I do like the overall paint job I did on this. Here, let's get a little bit of a closer look. It might be a little bit dusty overall from being on the shelf, but yeah, I do like this kit. It was a cool kit. So overall, I think this is a really good kit from Trumpeter. It does have some photo etch parts, but none of this was really that hard to put together. I wouldn't say it's like a beginner. I wouldn't make this like your first or second or third model, but I don't think you have to be super advanced to put this thing together. And it's just different. The subject matter is cool. It's not just another tank or another plane or a helicopter. It's cool looking. It's intimidating looking. The price tag on this kit is pretty good. It's not super expensive. It's pretty easy to find. So I would definitely recommend this kit for, at least if you're like an intermediate scale modeler. You could probably do a better job than I did on it, but I don't think I did too bad of a job. I think this came out like pretty well. So we have a couple grades here at Mediocre Military Scale Modeling. The lowest is a artistically inclined 5th grader could do better. The second one is that good old college try. And then, of course, our best rating is certified mediocre. With this guy, I think I did a pretty decent job. And I think at a glance, it looks really good. I just really like the paint job. I really like the color modulation that went on there and the fading. I think it looks overall really good, but there are some things I messed up on. I don't think I did the hoses that well. I could probably fix this, but I don't know. It leans in a little bit too much. So because of those little issues I had putting this thing together, I'm going to give this that good old college try. So middle of the road here. But again, I really like this kit. It looks cool on the shelf. It was fun putting together, and the price was right. Let me know what you think on this Sam-6 anti-aircraft missile, and I'll see you in the next video.